Let's fix that. Hey guys, Danny here today to talk to you about Chris Grabenstein's book, Whack-A-Mole. This is the third book in his John Ceepak series. Something that I found quite interesting when I went to Audible prior to listening to the book and looked at some of the previews to see what people who had listened to it had to say. There was a common theme from the previews that this was the most humorous of the books so far, that they really liked the fact that Chris had brought the humor back into the series. They felt like the humor had been lost in the last book, and they felt like it had been brought back in this book. I didn't get that at all. And don't get me wrong, thoroughly enjoyed the book, but the book was much more intense, much more adult. You have a serial killer, and Danny is now a cop. He's able to carry a gun. There's, body parts being left around town. So some of the things that I really liked about the book, because I did really enjoy the book. For starters, Danny's now growing up. And you get to see that with this book, with the first book. It was, a lot of the humor was based on Danny's immaturity combined with the fact that John Ceepak was this almost weird, unfeeling robot, and then the whimsicalness of the town. Now, the whimsicalness of the town is still kind of there, but Danny's really growing up. You can see the direction that the author is taking him. The author is not keeping the character the same. The author is doing what would happen to all of us in real life and allowing him to grow up and become a new person. And you get to see the start of that in this book, and I really like that. John Ceepak is becoming more human. He's got some emotion. He's got some feelings. He's no longer this automaton that just has his rule in place and Jersey, and does, whatever he wants to do, kind of a thing. He has feelings and emotions, and you really, towards the end of the book, really get to see his emotions come out. The ending went to a really good place. I liked it. But I do have to say that overall, the book was a bit more intense than any of the other ones. It was not as humorous. There is still a little bit of the whimsicalness of the town, but it's very minor compared to the other books. And the fact that Danny is growing up and John has become more human means that you now have less humor in the book, combined with the fact that it's a serial killer, and the direction the serial killer goes with his killing at the end of the book makes for a really nice, intense ending to the book. I like the confrontation with the serial killer. I really like the way they handle it. I'm trying to think of how to say this without giving away any spoilers. If you've listened to the other books, then what you would expect to happen when they are confronting the serial killer is not what happens. Part of the changing of the characters is what happens when they confront the serial killer, and I like that. I am going to take a break from the series, not because I'm not enjoying it at all, but because I'm ready for something new. I will come back to this series at some point in time in the future because I really did enjoy the series, and I'm curious to see the changes in John Ceepak and Danny. Does John continue to get more human? Does Danny continue to grow and mature and really want to grow and mature, but part of it is the fact that John Ceepak is having an influence on him and making him want to grow and mature, which I really like. Nowadays, our society has this whole men should never grow up, they should be boys for the rest of their lives. And if you're a man out there and you've bought into that, you really, really, really need to lose that. Understand, if you spend your entire life being a boy and never growing up, you're going to have a crappy life. You're going to have crappy relationships. When you're my age and you have a family and you have kids, people don't look at you and go, oh, he's a boy, he's so cool. They look at you and go, he's so immature. Dude seriously needs to grow up. And nobody, relationship-wise, wants to be with someone that they have to take care of and change their diapers. But a lot of the media nowadays, that's how they're portraying men. And I like the fact that with this book, you can see Danny wanting to grow up because of the influence of John Ceepak, wanting to become a man and be mature and responsible and become a better man. I really like that. There's still a lot of language in the book. It's definitely, now you have the language combined with body parts being left all over town. It's definitely not a book that I would listen to around children at all. If you have any comments, questions, or feedback, please send them my direction. If you like my videos, please subscribe and have yourself a very wonderful day. Thank you.